Hi, my name is David Franklin. Today we're speaking with GauravSabharwal from SaffronTech about his company. So Gaurav, tell me about SaffronTech and why it's different than other offshore companies.
So hi David, how are you today?
I'm great. Great to meet you.
Fantastic. So SaffronTech has been around for the last 10 years. And we actually incepted the company back in 2008. In the last 10 years, we've scaled quite a lot. You know, we are a team of about 120 people altogether right now, both in India and US. Today we are what we call it as a digital transformation company. Okay. And that is a different kind of a take on the whole scope of technology. And why do I say that is because usually you will meet companies who are either technology or on the whole marketing side of it. Okay. We are in a unique position where we are very strong in both the categories of the business. We really transform the businesses that we work with and give them the power, the true power today technology and digital platform can provide. So it's a both inside and outside approach. Mm-hmm. On the inside of it, we really go into businesses and understand how technology can help them, whether it's core development, they want applications to be developed, it could be web apps, mobile apps, enterprise level apps. So we do all of that. At the same time, if they need to make their businesses more effective, more efficient in today's competitive world, we would go ahead and implement ERPs, CRMs, any business automation tool that they need today. On the outside of it, it's more about getting to the right customers. Now, we have seen enough businesses not scaling up, and they have great products, they have great businesses, but it's hard to scale up because it's hard to reach the kind of audience that you want to reach and really tell them the USP of your product. Mm-hmm. Now, what we do is, as the outside of it, we get their brand in front of their prospects, through digital marketing efforts that we have. And in the digital marketing world, we are, I would say we are very good with whole organic search, paid search. We've put in a lot of effort in understood the whole social environment, which is not so easy in today's world, very complex. Online reputation, how to build your reputation online as a brand, as a business owner, the whole analytics of it. Now you create a lot of data. You need to really analyze it and make it business worthy. And we present it in front of our customers and kind of build over it for the whole marketing team. So that's where the whole digital transformation comes into play.
So tell me a little bit about the customers that you're going after. What is special about the target market that you approach that's different than other companies in your space?
It's interesting you ask that because we are one of the many. You know that, right? You throw a stone in India and you'll get thousands of tech companies coming over. So how are we different and what kind of user base we want to go for? Mm-hmm. So the whole difference, I think I just kind of explained to you. The kind of businesses that we like to serve or like to do business with are actually three types. One is the whole startup community. There have been an influx of very good products, services startups which have come in the last decade or so. Mm-hmm. So what we do is we work with them very closely, have a MVP ready, then help them to be technology ready. A lot of them already have done their first round of funding. So they have the funds, and they understand the business spectrum well. They just need a technology partner for them to get the best out of the technology world that they need to get their product going.
These would be companies that have already developed their MVP, that minimum viable product.
Right.
And now they've raised some money, but they need to take it to the next level. They can't do this on their own, so they bring you in to build an actual production level system.
Exactly, very right. Whether in terms of it's their development stack, the infrastructure stack. We work with cloud computing, so we are partners with Azure. We are a Microsoft Gold certified partners, so we work with Azure. We are Amazon Web Services partners, so we work with Amazon for their infrastructure. So yes, get them market ready in terms of their technology as a product. So that's one side of it. The second market that we do cater to is the small, medium businesses. Now, those businesses are which have been at business for the last few years, and they have already a mature business going on. But now they want to shift their orbit. They want to go to the next level. So, as the word transformation says, it is not doing something what you're doing better, but it's a paradigm shift of what do you think is the next level, right? And most usually than not, technology plays a big part into it. So that is where we come into play. Let's say if I'm giving you an example, we've built a web and a mobile platform for somebody who had a staffing business. Mm-hmm. And now all they're doing is providing video resumes, and every bit of their service is online. So they have changed their whole business from what they were doing as a staffing company before to doing all of that online through a web and a mobile platform is what we created for them. The third business that we've not really gotten deep into it, but one of the reasons we have our US operations now and we have the office here in the US is getting into the whole enterprise level customers. So that is what we see that Saffron is going to be focusing on for the next decade or so. And of course, the whole startup, small, medium is something that we've already done and achieved, and we kind of know how to get to that market. Is we're going to keep that, but slowly and steadily we are also going to get into the more enterprise level business.
Yeah, it seems like that's a natural evolution, and ultimately you want to go after those big whales and land the big clients.
Yes, like any other service-based business,
Very good.
Yeah.
Now, this is something that we haven't really seen so much, where you have a technology company, and all of a sudden you're pairing that with a marketing company, and you're bringing together this functionality and this capability that it really is starting to address the business needs of the customers you're going after. Because anybody can build a widget, but getting that widget out there is really the bigger challenge, I think.
Absolutely. And I think that's where SaffronTech is so different than from what there is in the market, What I see as a business owner is if you're not solving a business problem, you can be great at technology, you can be very good at marketing, and it's not going to help. It's really to understand that business problem and then solving it with, of course, bringing the right product on the table, but then reaching out to the audience so that you can scale that product with the masses. So that is where I see SaffronTech being so unique, and one of the reasons we've been successful in what we have done.
So tell me about some of the products and offerings, the actual services that you offer to your clients.
Sure, and it's good that you asked that, because a lot of times, digital transformation can be a very broad term, and our clients need to know what exactly is it what we do and what are we competitive with. So on the whole technology side of it, if I have to choose maybe three things that we do really well, is custom application development. As I did say that we are a Microsoft Gold certified company for custom application, and we have really done some very complex work in both web and mobile space. So that is one thing. Second, I would say, we are a very effective digital marketing company, and in that digital marketing space, I think if the two things that I have to choose would be paid marketing, the whole AdWords campaigns for Google, Bing, Yahoo, and at organic search. We're very, very strong with organic search. Thirdly, is what we say is that the whole tech stack for the startups, and more so in the whole healthcare IT and logistics. So those are the two industries that we're really focusing on the whole startup area.
Now, when you say the tech stack, can you rephrase that? Because that's a very open term. So what do you mean by the technology stack, and how does that specifically apply to the industries that you're talking about?
Sure. And when I say tech stack for a startup, it's really is because, they need core development. So we do that with a lot of .NET technology, which is again Microsoft and SQL databases. Then you need to have an infrastructure for that to be hosted and run on. So we do usually use a lot of cloud computing there with Azure and Amazon Web Services. And then you have to provide them ongoing maintenance and support services as well, because they don't really have the teams sitting in their offices to do that. So those are the development, the infrastructure, as well as the maintenance support that you provide them.
Now, how does that solve problems more specifically in healthcare and in, what was the other industry you mentioned?
Logistics.
Logistics. So, yeah, how does that specifically help in healthcare and in logistics?
So it is not really industry agnostic. It is not really industry specific, but it is really industry agnostic, because you have the same processes being used in different industries, so that we have certain good projects that we've done, and we have certain great clients that we've worked in these two spaces. And once you become kind of an industry expert, you're better off as and when you keep on working in that industry. You just get a whole industry knowledge too. So that is why we've kind of chosen the whole healthcare IT as well as logistics.
Yeah. Now, healthcare IT is very special because there's a lot of regulation around it. So
Sure.
everything from HIPAA, right, making sure people's privacy is protected, making sure that the data is secure. Would you say that you've gone into healthcare because you have special expertise there, or you've developed that expertise as you've been in healthcare?
So I think it's both things. We really got and did some deep study just for the whole HIPAA compliant and the security. You got to be very sure about that. And at the same time, we've developed one of the biggest EHRs, which is electronic health record system. And when you create a electronic health record system, you really need to understand the whole industry of healthcare, the whole regulations of it, as well as the whole technology and how does the information flow. So when you do something like that, you just become so much deep in the industry that you get a lot of information from that too.
So with electronic health records, and this is just a personal interest of mine for other reasons, but so did you do both EHR as well as practice management solution? Like, was it both the records management just specifically within the EMR, or was it a full-blown practice management where you're trying to actually do scheduling and managing, payroll and all of the other stuff?
So not the payroll, but the whole EMR, which is the whole documentation and all the records. Yeah. But at the same time, it does integrate with scheduling, labs, different arms that then the medical has to kind of deal with. Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
Now, how do you deal with some of the challenges of offshore development? Like, you've got a big time change difference. Communication is always an issue. Sometimes even it's not a language barrier, but sometimes the accent can be enough that it makes it difficult for people here to work with people there.
Sure, and these all challenges I think the industry has been facing over the years. One of the ways that we have been able to encounter that is, there are few things that we've done for it. We have our project managers, we have our senior team be available in some US hours. So that way, the communication is much easier. Our customers don't have to worry about being awake at odd hours to speak to our project managers or developers or our marketers, so that makes it easy for them. At the same time, since I studied here in the US and Vibhu has done his master's from London, from the top, we have a very good understanding of the whole Western culture. And we understand the whole expectation setting, delivery, commitment. All of these are very, small words to talk about, but very, very important when you're running a business. So I think, and everything flows from the top, So when we are sure to keeping these intact in our company, we've been able to kind of drive that in our organization. So even though our organization is about 120 people right now, we have smaller teams, and those teams have their team leaders who have those same kind of work ethics which they are able to drive in their teams. So I think that's another thing.
So let's dig a little bit more into the transformation that's happened in your business. You started out in New Delhi. Now you're here. You're in both places.
Yes.
What is it about being local that is really allowing you to change the style of business and the services that you're able to offer to your clients?
Very good question. And, I'm going to get into a little more detail for this.
Okay.
Because in the last 10 years of our journey, one of the things that we saw was people coming to us, of course, for our skills and capabilities, but also for the whole cost advantage that we can provide to businesses. Now, when we are onshore, we have all the good stuff that we had from before, but now we have moved up the value chain. We are closer to businesses. We can really understand the business problem much better. We can have a face-to-face, which you cannot beat. We can understand the processes of businesses. We can work with their specific departments and really have a whole consultative approach for technology than just the execution approach, So I think that is the main difference. Also, I think every business realizes 80% of our business comes from North America. So it's just natural that when you are creating that kind of business in a market, and if you are in that market, the growth potential or the growth opportunity just becomes, maybe 10x of what you can do right now. So that really triggered us to provide that, to take that step to come to the US and open our own office here.
Is there any technology that you're using in service of that model? Video conferencing, screen sharing, real-time VR? Is there anything special?
Oh, absolutely. And there are many tools that are helping businesses right now. The world has become so small with all the technology play today that a lot of times our clients don't even know where we're sitting and working from,
Right. The difference between here and India is however many milliseconds, right?
Exactly, right? So they're video conferencing, they're conferencing over the calls, so project management tools. So we've actually come up with our own proprietary tool as well, which is called I Am Intelli, which we use for managing a lot of our digital marketing campaigns. And at the same time, we do use different project management tools for our technology campaigns too. Yeah.
Now, are you like on Trello or Slack or Fuse or like what does the technology stack look like as far as your project management, like Atlassian, right? Your Jira, Confluence, Pivotal Tracker. You're an agile.
Sure.
Company, right?
So yes, absolutely. So Jira is pretty big for us.
Yeah.
We use that for our agile development. Slack is of course for the whole communication part. We use that. Then there is a lot of communication which happens over Skype real time, or there are conference calls. We are GoToMeeting but yeah, Jira is one of the most important project management tools that we use.
You're an agile development shop. Tell me why agile is valuable and how it can help your clients to achieve better outcomes.
Sure. So in the whole startup world, startups are changing as they progress in their whole development life cycle. They have new ideas coming in, they go to the market, get feedback, and they want to change the product accordingly. So the whole agile Scrum-based development is the only way they can progress. So, we have to, in order for us to provide that technology platform for them, in order for us to develop their product, we have to be very agile. We need to work on scrums, and really be flexible so that as and when the requirement changes, we have the flexibility that we can change our system, our development life cycle, and integrate that change and still be at a point where we are developing and delivering the whole product in the due course of timeline.
Talk a little bit more about the marketing side of the business, and especially when you're talking about search engine optimization, you've got a big challenge there because search engines, they keep changing, right? The
Sure.
rules are changing. The things that increase your rankings one day, drop them the next day, and how do you stay on top of all of that?
So very interesting because we have gone through the whole decade of this. So we've seen ups and downs of search engine algorithm changes, the penalties that Google has brought in. So we've seen it all, and I think we have kind of mastered of how to keep it focused, user base, than really playing around with the algorithms. So if you have the right approach, a right strategy for search engine optimization, which is making sure that the technical SEO on your website is done right. You have the right content being published, whether on the website through blogs or on different sources like outside on the web. You have the right marketing for that content. You building the right kind of links which are contextual and really helping the industry and driving traffic from the users, unique users coming onto your website for that. I think if you keep it simple and if you work on the right strategy, you are bound to get higher rankings and the traffic, and there are different ways that we get traffic to the sites. Of course, social media plays a big role into it. We have a channel which runs for Facebook marketing because you can really go and select your audience by demographics, the kind of income group, the age group that you want to really focus on. So it's very focused marketing. So all of that brings traffic, and then traffic really helps the rankings. So it's kind of a world by itself that you really understand as a marketer, and then you can really make it work, is what I'm saying.
But so with all the power of Facebook marketing and the ability to target so specifically, it seems that content, though, is still king, right? Having good content is going to allow you to get good results no matter what the changes are in the algorithm. How do you focus on content so that you can ultimately drive better ranking results?
Sure, and content is not just written content today. Content can be images, it can be video, it can be anything that a user would like to read, see, watch, which is relevant and is interesting for them to get something out of that piece of content. So as long as you are building content which is helping the user to extract something intelligent out of it, is good content. And when you have that good content, then you need a right strategy to get that to market that content and get that content being published to the right places where users can come, see it, and absorb that content. So yeah, that's the whole content piece of it. The whole Facebook marketing piece of it is very data driven. It has the biggest database of every kind of users. So you can really go deep, create funnels which help you target the kind of audience, the market that you want to reach out to. And that's the power of some of these social media platforms, media marketing platforms that they provide in today's world.
Now, are there platforms that you specialize in that might differentiate you, like LinkedIn, for example?
Sure.
Do you have any particular specialty or specialization in a platform that would be a good Do you have any specialization in a platform that might be a good differentiator for your company?
So, you don't choose a platform just because you're good at it. You have to choose the platform of what is good for the business. Now, and I'll give you an example of it. So if it's a fashion brand that you're trying to promote, you're not going to do it on LinkedIn, no matter you are an expert on LinkedIn, right? It needs to be more visual. So it has to be Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook. You need to create a buzz around that brand. Now, if you are a lawyer, let's say, so if you're a lawyer, you don't want to be on Facebook. You don't want to talk about your personal life. You got to keep the content. You got to keep the world very professional. So that is when the whole LinkedIn or Twitter comes into play. So to answer your question, we are not an expert of a platform and we say that you use that platform because we're an expert. We have been able to get our expertise on different social media platforms, and then according to the business need, according to the business strategy that we create, we use the platform which are required for it.
So give me 3 examples, your top 3 examples of when your marketing expertise was able to really help a company grow.
Wow, and I can give you 500 examples, but let me think of the top 3, or maybe not the top 3, the 3 that comes into my mind now. So one of the examples that I can think of, and it's very vivid, is one of the businesses that we helped in Los Angeles, California. Now they are in the fashion business, and this lady started the business and was selling bottom wear online. And when we started working with them, they were doing about a revenue of about $200,000 in a year. And we created a whole marketing campaign which included search engine optimization, AdWords, the whole social play, paid social play. And in the next 2 years, we were able to increase the sales from $200,000 to about $1 million online. Now that's big, and we still have that customer, and we have a great relationship, and we keep on growing with each other. So that was one thing. Other example that I can think of is a whole real estate company, which was based out of Houston, Texas, and they are a big portal. I'm not going to name them, but they have 1,000 of pages on their website, and they provide real estate listings on all the different cities and zip codes that they have through an MLS. And when we got working for that client, that we figured out that maybe 50% of their pages were not even cached, but just because the way it was built up, and the business owner had no clue, and they were just thinking that they're spending so much. They're working with another marketing company already, and they're spending so much, but they're not able to increase the traffic. So it wasn't anything else but to really do the technical SEO and do an audit and really understand why the traffic has come down or not increasing. And we fixed that whole website up. In the next 3 months, they had 3 times the traffic, So that is the second example. The third example that I can think of is about an attorney, which used to work out of New York, and they were doing a personal injury. So when they came to us, they were a good law firm, but they were having challenges with the kind of cases they got, and they have a bigger infrastructure, but they didn't have many cases coming in. So what we did was we and it's a very, very competitive space because it's New York and it's personal injury. It's not an easy space. So rather than choosing few keywords, we built a keyword cloud around it, which was long tail keywords, transactional keywords, informational keywords, and we build them as an authority in that whole space of personal injury. And it took us time. It took us anything between, I can't recall, but I think it was around 12 to 24 months really. But after that, they haven't looked back. You know, they keep getting calls and leads and people approaching them for their law services. So yeah, so I mean, you know, it's amazing how business can exponentially grow with the same services, the same offering that they provide. They need just to be out there, you know, the people need to find them, and that is how we help, you know.
I want you to give me your card because
Sure.
I need your service.
Absolutely.
Now let's start talking about your sort of personal journey.
Sure.
So you're an entrepreneur. You have a mental defect that all entrepreneurs have, thinking that you can change the world if you just work hard enough, but you seem to be doing it. Tell me the story about how you got started in business for yourself and why you chose the long and difficult path of an entrepreneur.
So I don't think it's a long and difficult path. I think it's a very fulfilling path. And if I had to do it all over again, I would choose this again than the whole corporate life, you know. And I have friends, I have family, you know, who are doing great in the corporate world. And to each his own, you know. And that is what they like to do. That is what they have the passion for. Now, I individually need to create something. You know, I have the passion for creating an opportunity, creating a business where people see challenges, I see opportunity. You know, so the whole right now the whole tech world is a little shaken up because there talks about machine learning and artificial intelligence, and people will lose their jobs in the whole tech world. Well, we'll see what happens, but my take is if you're good at what you do, you will still have a market. You will still have the pie of the cake that you can go after. And I think we are still relatively small to what the industry has to offer. So on the whole macro level, things can be very different, but if we are good on the micro level, we still have a lot of growth to achieve. As far as my journey is concerned, you know, I was born in New Delhi, raised up there, came to America in 2001, did my graduation from here, and I at that point I chose that I wanted to be in the technology world, and I wanted to create a business out of the whole service model of technology. And there were many companies doing it then too, but one of the gaps that I saw was that there was a huge gap between what an expectation of a customer was, you know, in the US and how it was being delivered. And it comes back to the whole point of, you know, the challenges that you have with offshoring. Yeah. So I and both Vibhu come from that whole culture where we understand both worlds. I think that is that what makes it a little easier for us to kind of take away that challenge and create an opportunity there. Technology, we really want to focus on the Microsoft technology that we are very good at, and we have certified developers, and we are a gold certified partner. And the mobile space, that we've been able to create a lot of different complex apps, both on Android and iOS. The Internet of Things, we're very excited about that. We do software testing, so we want to keep doing that, and you know, come up with our own tools and really help with the automation of software testing. And then augmented reality, you know, we've gotten into it. We are already working on a couple of products. I did mention one before. So that's whole on the technology side, we want to do that. And on the digital marketing, we want to be, you know, we already are kind of the leaders in the organic. We want to keep that. We want to keep on working and getting better with the whole paid as well as social campaigns that we run. And we want to be one of the best digital transformation company that, you know, that is out there. And I think with our offices now being in the US and India, we're in that space that if we keep on doing the right thing, we will be a much bigger and a better company in 5 years down the line. So, we want to focus on the two domains of our businesses, which is the whole